So, all right. So today, this topic will be Civil War. Is the United States going to be headed towards some form of civil war? Is it already there? We just don't know it. We have the aspects of the criteria. I have to bring my phone. To the criteria for for countries that go to civil war.
Yes.
That's what I was going to look up on the phone.
Ah.
So, I mean, if you want to look that up, because there are criteria that they say, well, certain things go on or happening that, there's a possibility that these countries will head to civil war or be part of the civil war.
Uh-huh.
And as of, the insurrection.
I can't see without changing glasses.
Shall I say, for the January 6th.
Yeah, January 6th is pretty much where the country started to get divided. And could it be that we might be headed towards that way? That's interesting to talk about. The Republicans are kind of divided on that. There's a few that are not with the regular Republicans. And, well, we all know the Democrats on their side. But what do you guys think about it? Do you think that we're headed that way? Our opinion doesn't really matter. We're just here to discuss it. Okay.
It's not searching. Anyways, because you have people who are trying to. It's not necessarily trying to force. Well, it isn't. It is ideology, not for. I guess it's forcing it by ideologies of, this is the way
it should be.
We should be, or this is the way they want it to be, or whatever.
Right.
Like one person that's running, it's like, I'm going to run again because
this is the way it has to be, and that's the way I want it. And that's said and done.
Would you run away from your country if you could stay and help and do something because your country is going in the wrong direction? Well, is it your view that it's the wrong direction? Is it your party's view that's the wrong direction?
Would you stand up for your right, for freedom, that you believe is the correct thing to do?
Right, and that's I get that's the aspects of what this politician may be saying. However, it's your view. You also, I hate to say, try to stipulate that the election. I'm sorry that as far as the past election, in the immortal words of Willy Wonka, I'm sorry, you lose, you get nothing.
Yep.
And it's the way it is. It's not because all of a sudden you're at one certain point and now you're just going, oh, well, you know what, we're done. Just call it now. I won. Yep. No, it's not over. The race isn't over until the race is over. So you're going to tell me that your kid is ahead of the person coming around the second turn, and as far as you're concerned, they won. Okay, that's what that sounds like to me.
Uh-huh.
And so therefore it's just, so then you get other people believing the same thing, because is it because the person's charismatic, or is it just a simple fact is that people are looking at it through a tainted lens?
Rose-colored glasses is the saying that you're looking for.
Yeah,
seeing the world through rose-colored glasses, and the meaning behind that is you get to think to see what you want to see, or believe what you want to believe.
Right.
And some people just need to take off those glasses to really see what is happening. I'm not saying what's going on is what is going on. That is for you to determine. And to be really honest with you, there's stuff that's going on that really does not it ruffles my feathers some, and it's not really good.
Yeah. Well, and you got so many other people viewing it in the same way. It's like a mass delusion. One person sees it, they can, and someone else, and they present it in such a way, and another person sees it, next another person sees it, and it's just it's a mass delusion. Not saying that everything that goes on, what you believe here, these people there, it's all mass delusion.
Oh, correct.
It's just the simple fact is that, hey, look, we have people in this world, or at least in our country, that want things to be a specific way.
Yep.
And these specific ways were back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yes.
And in order to try and make things move along with the times and the way the world is evolving, is that you can't stay back with those ideologies and try and also muscle or bully, lack of a better term, to get what you need or want. And when you start calling the kettle black on a party, or a person of a party who's trying to do something, you're trying to call their kettle black, and you end up turning around and doing the same thing. So what seems to be the problem here?
Yeah.
Is it because that you didn't think about it first, but so you're going to condemn them, tell a bunch of people to condemn that person or that party or that group, but you're going to turn around and do the same thing and go, no, and say it is not the same thing. It's not the same thing because you say it's not. And because and now you have a conflict going on between groups that are like, no, we are, yes, we have a problem where we have people coming across the border, and our economy's, taking it's taking a hard turn, or our economy is doing well, but it's only because certain things have transpired. And is it necessarily those things transpired because of the one party who wants things the way they were? Or is it the responsibility of the party who's trying to, I don't want to say modernize, but move forward in a fashion that hopefully benefits more everybody?
I think
even though both parties are trying to strive for the same thing.
I think personally, let's knock all this nonsense off and worry about really what's going on with what's going on and what Russia's doing. I think that should take front and center stage. That's what's really going on. What's going on right now with all this fluff that we're talking about is really second to the first thing that what's going on with Russia. That is a powder keg that's really going on. That could really determine what happens with what's going on here in the United States. That could really determine as to what happens with us. That could divide us even further as to what we are now. So that that and us is a big circle. What's going to happen happens. So we're stuck in the middle. Us people that live here in the States, that encompasses what's going to happen here in the United States. And that could define us as the United States of America. Remember, united is in the States of America. That is my belief.
Oh, right. Exactly. Now, as far as Civil War, there's always these things that it's the parties, one party pitting against another party.
Yes.
Another thing that kind of draws it is the economy. Who's getting the jobs, who's not getting the jobs, along with and that evolves into the aspects. One of the other criteria, excuse me, if I believe correctly, is poverty.
Yes.
And then you got, and I don't know how much religion plays into it, but it just really boils down to is who is it civil war is always a power struggle, and who's how's this actually going to play out, because right now we got all the people who are trying to say that, you know, what happened on January 6th was just it's a standard day. It was people that were just there to visit the Capitol, and da, da, da.
Yep.
Well, people there to just visit the Capitol, and next thing you
Don't
know,
break windows.
go break windows,
Yeah,
and storm in with weapons.
Yeah. Normal
and
people just
chanting,
don't do
kill
that.
people, and hang the vice president and all this other stuff because one guy did not like how things turned out.
Yeah, that's not normal people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's definitely not normal behavior. That now I'm not saying that in some cases it can be a normal behavior because sometimes you have to stand behind a person to get some change. I get that. But when you're actually attacking the very fabric of
The
how
United
States
States of America.
and how things are supposed to work, then we have a problem. This is where we're edging closer to
Civil War.
Civil War.
Let's put it this way, folks. Let's just say you stand in your front yard and you yell at everybody saying, "These are my ideals." And then 2 days later, a mob comes and breaks all your windows and knocks down your doors and starts saying, "Hey, we're here. We don't like what you said." And they start rummaging through your house and breaking everything. So that's what happened on January 6th. How would you like it if people did that to you because they didn't like your ideals that you were screaming on your front yard that day? That's basically what happened on January 6th. People just come rummaging in and started tearing up the house, the White House, and trashed it. That could happen to your house if you got out there and started spreading your ideals and forcing people to believe and conform to your ways.
Now,
That's basically what happened.
oh yeah, and now what I like is the simple fact is you got some now prominent Republicans who are now
Still trying to bring that way back.
right, but it's now there's some now that are wising up that are, hey, look, this, yes, it happened. I'm not no longer going to say it's an insurrection. I'm not going to say it's this or it's that. It happened. It was something that should have never happened.
Correct.
And you know what we need to focus on is that
it never happens again.
That, yeah, it never happens again. But, you know, they need to be, you know, for their party, they should be focusing on other things to get people back, you know, that they want reelected for their party.
Right.
Or new people elected for their party to help it. And instead of rehashing and saying the lie, this was this and that, you know what? It's done. It's over with.
Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it now. Move on. You're gonna have all these people that are still. What I love is they got these other guys that are going, well, all the courts have said that there has been no fraud, but now it's still, well, we need still. Now here's the kicker: they're spending your tax. I don't give a shit who you are, where you stand, whatever. Yep. It's your money, your taxpayer money, millions of your taxpayer money to sit there and go, well, there's questions that need to be asked. I think all the questions have been asked. Yes. What other questions do you want to ask?
Why is there error?
And just because you think that if you ask another question, something's going to come up, something's going to be undug, whatever, it's very possible. But you know what? In time, history will find that. It's not now to keep undermining the whole democratic process.
It's been a whole year and they still have the same count.
And if not, the count keeps getting better for Biden. However, the Russians have said this in the past, and it's going to come true if this freaking keeps going on, is that we strive so hard to be democratic. We strive so hard to be an influence of, hey, look, you want a better life. This is what you need to do, yada, yada. But they're turning around and they've said it from the 1950s that America will become a communist country.
Yes, there will be a downfall if we hit civil war. We will change the outlook of the United States. And
right.
That's a good thing.
Exactly. And the term limit for president will go out the window. Term limit for everything else will go out the freaking window.
Dictatorship will show up.
Exactly. And, you know, you got people who that are trying to help perpetuate all this too, that some of them are from the news teams or news companies or whatever, and they're prominent reporters. Prominent, I'm going to do prominent, because they sit there and they bring up crap about things that have already been hashed out, things that have been talked about, but they want to perpetuate all the same bullshit to try and lead people into civil war.
Yes, the fake news.
Yeah, the fake news. You know what? There's been fake news since news ever freaking was invented. I'm sorry. And it all depends on who reports it, what is their agenda, what's their affiliation, what's their non-affiliation. We'll remove that, strike that. Their ideals. It has nothing necessarily to do with affiliation. It's their ideals and what they want to see and how they want to report the news. I could say the cat and the dog played gracefully on the lawn, but the person that one of the reporters I'm talking about, the cat and the dog were wrestling, and it was a thing to the death.
Right.
There was no blood. There was no fur flying. It was just two animals playing in the front yard, but the way they want to present it is something that's totally what it's not.
Just to get the headlines and the good ratings.
And to rile people up.
Yep.
You know, the cat lovers versus the dog lovers.
Yes, just to get the people riled. You know, just to divide the cat and dog lovers. That's what's happening. You know, with the news that's put out.
Right, and then and now you got now you have the I don't know, does it start with the Canadian truckers in Ottawa, Canada?
Could be.
And then they start about the vaccinations and all that stuff. And you know what? What's funny is majority of the truckers that are doing this are already at almost 90% of them are vaccinated.
Yep.
But they want the vaccination laws and all this abolished and whatever the case may be, or things removed and this and that. Well, you know what? Things are put in place for safety to help people. Yes, you're entitled to your own thoughts, your opinions, your rights. And if you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, that's fine.
Go right ahead. Yep.
But a protest is a protest. But when you shut down an entire city for days and start shutting down another city for days or coming up on days, there's something totally wrong here. That should, what you're protesting about and the chaos you're causing, you're already been part of the solution.
Yes.
And at least that's
you're shutting down the system. Nobody's getting the goods they need. Nobody's getting the required groceries, the infrastructure that they need. You guys are holding up all of the goods and stuff that they need for regular living.
Right. And now that's going to, so now there goes inflation. There goes the prices of everything. Are you, the truckers yourselves, are you going to be able to afford this? Or are you going to turn around now, blockade and protest because things are too expensive? But then you go and do that again. Now you're going to have more problems with things being expensive and more inflation and everything else.
It's going in circles, folks. It's going in circles.
Everything's going in circles the way it is.
It's never going to stop unless we all work together and cooperate. That's the whole premise of this show today.
Now what Yosef brought up about Russia trying, maybe we will do this. Maybe invade Ukraine. You got to understand, Russia has been trying to reclaim its old countries for decades.
Yes,
in one way or another, they've been trying to do it. They'll go and invade Belarus, and then they get fought back, and they go, and Belarus becomes their thing. Then they become allies. Ukraine used to be part of, if I remember correctly, used to be part of Russia. They separated from Russia, and they tried to invade them once before, but were fought back, and the world didn't like it, and so they, okay, we'll leave them alone.
Right.
It's back to the fashion of power, where now, granted, we're talking when it comes down to it, apples and oranges for the basic sake of our argument between communism and democracy. And yes, if you want to look at it between our allies and everybody else, and we come in and we help them, and they're like, okay, well, you're one of our allies. We are actually perpetuating our own not necessarily, I guess our own agenda as well, is for democracy, for,
Yeah.
for people to quote have a better life.
But we're not forcing that on anybody like like Russia's doing to their people.
Right. We're not invading countries to overthrow them, to do these things. And if we are, we're doing it secretively. However, though, we're trying to, at least the way it seems to be, is that we're like, okay, this has been this whole country is a travesty. People are in poverty. People are being, killed for whatever. Okay, we're going to facilitate an aspect where there's going to be a new government. And hopefully that new government provides better. Granted, we're not there for a lot of the cleanup. We try to help to do the cleanup when it's all done and over with. But it boils back down to the people who, if you want it, you need to do something about it, not sit there and go, okay, well, help me, do it for me. And then, well, in that case, you know what? Yeah, then we might as well just come and invaded you and took over everything and declared you another state.
Right.
So
yeah, it's just, everything's just, we're living history right now, and that's fantastic, but if anything happens over there with Russia, I don't know. It's a powder keg, guys. It's a powder keg.
Well, yeah. Now you got Iran. It's close to having a nuclear weapon, and because the previous administration pulled us out of a nuclear agreement with them, and then sanctioned the crap out of Iran, and crippling their country, and to basically bully them into a better deal. What do you think is really going to happen? Eventually, be bullying people. They're going to start to retaliate. If not retaliate, they will do their own way of trying to get you out of my life. And in this case, it's like, all right, you know what? We've had this. We were playing nice. We were playing nice with everybody. Yes, we might have been doing a little something shifty
right, exactly.
But we're playing nice with everybody, and everybody was happy. And so, but now you decided to fuck us. So you know what? We'll just start developing more nuclear weapons again. And you know what? We got enough people who would like to see the downfall of the United States that will start taking that stuff and start making more. The fear of dirty bombs used to be about a decade ago.
Yes,
it's going to become more of a thing.
I was just going to say that they're going to sneak them in, and they'll go to, within 2 or 3 blocks of, let's just say, a good area. I'm not going to say any place in particular, but let's just say an abandoned shopping mall, and just set off the dirty bomb. Well, that takes out a couple of mile radius, but then you got the radiation and stuff, fallout coming down around. They got suicide bombers already, taking out a bunch of people all over the world. You never know. It always could happen with those dirty bombs. Never know when it would hit. We had the World Trade Center. It happened. You never know what or it may happen. That's all I'm saying. Because he said the dirty bombs. That was something that was in the past that they thought, oh, it could happen, but we never gave it a thought. Now there are dirty bombs that have been happening overseas. Now it's a very good reality check.
Oh, yeah. So
because it's out there.
Right. But now back to, we have elections coming up, and we have primaries coming up, and now it's a fight over ballot boxes.
Yeah, they ruled it now as they're illegal. They have to take them out.
Well, they were legal. Now they're illegal. Now
Yeah.
they were legal. Now they're illegal.
I
Well,
just
you can use it for this one, but you can't use it for that one.
I just read on the phone today that the TV6 had a thing on the phone saying that now they're illegal. They can't be used.
Yeah, I heard something about that, where it could be used for this current election, but come the one in August or some crap, it can't be used.
Yeah.
It can't be used or something along that lines. And it's like,
what the hell, guys? Come on, sugar,
Right.
get off the pot.
it's next to let's rip out the mailboxes so people can't mail in their
Mail
their
to their
ballots.
friends. Yeah. Okay. Right. Exactly.
Mail in their ballots, or even simply mail a letter. Letters are a thing in the past. Bullshit. You still send bills through there.
I know I do.
People still send letters. There's still things that go through the system of the postal service that are, it may not be critical to you, but it'd be critical to other people. It's like, you get your medications through the mail. Okay.
Right. Yes.
So now for people who can't really afford internet, even though they're trying to make it
affordable for everybody.
affordable for everybody, but still, you got people who don't have it or don't believe in it, don't want to use it. They still got to rely on the mail. So what? You want them to drive freaking an hour to go use a mailbox,
Right.
or 30 minutes or 45 minutes to find a post office when they used to have a mailbox on the corner 5 minutes away,
Yep.
maybe 10 minutes away.
Yep.
You know.
I'm lucky. I'm pretty close. I'm about 10, 15 minutes of walk from a mailbox.
But that the come 2024 the presidential election, that mailbox could be removed.
Yeah. The blinkers.
You never know what's
That's stupid. I mean, that's horrible because that's a staple of the United States. What do we have to do? Go back to the Pony Express?
right.
It might, guys. It just might. We're gonna have some guy walking down the street. Hey, give me your mail. I'm gonna run it down to the next place down to get it delivered for everybody else. It might come down to that. Oh, the other thing, CMEs are coming back up. We're at the 11-year high now.
To what?
CMEs, the sunspots.
Sunspots?
Yes,
Oh, the
Yeah.
coronal mass ejections.
yes, we're
It's
coming back up.
injections.
So, what's his name? I know we're probably just about done with us for the day, but Elon Musk lost 40 out of 49
Oh yeah.
things. I can't remember.
It's part of his
Satellites.
Satellites, yeah. But
Yeah.
they were in total orbit though.
That's why, yeah, they were just about in orbit and they got all zapped, but 9 of them that were out, early ones out, made it.
Yeah, out of that group, 40 of them dropped,
Yeah.
burned up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, because of the coronal mass ejection. I thought that was pretty sick.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. People don't really. We're all worried about what's going to happen with gas prices, and that's another thing. Civil War bringing all up. on
Well,
gas prices.
you need
Anyway.
gas and you need food. You're going to have to deal with the prices unless you make your own ethanol.
Right. But we're also consumed about this and that, which we
Have to be.
We have to be. But however, though, if there's a big enough sun flare, that's really what this is.
Uh-huh.
Is that if it takes out enough satellites, it could not necessarily put us in the dark ages, but it could really hinder a lot of things.
No more internet.
It could be spotty internet, cell service, bad cell service.
Yep.
If you use DirecTV or Dish or something, that may
Mhm.
may not work again until they decide, well, are we going to pony up the money to send up new satellites?
I don't think anybody has any spare satellites sitting in let's say DirecTV's warehouse or Sprint satellite for the telecommunications. I don't think everybody's got a
one sitting
satellite
on the shelf,
sitting on the shelf. No, I don't think nobody does.
No, nobody does. And so it's like, okay, now it becomes between the DOD and corporations, the fight of, well, we will pay you to use your satellite to this and that. Well, now you're talking about how do we secure that information? That's disgusting.
If the big coronal mass ejection happens, we're back to the 1820s. Just think about it, guys.
If some huge thing like that happens, we're back to maybe over-the-air TV. Radio might be fine because radio is still radio. It's not digital per se, because that's still going over the airways, and be back to 1800s when there was just radio, or early 1900s when there was just radio. That's all you had.
Over-the-air TV is still there. They didn't totally outlaw it, but that's for local TV. You can still pick that up on regular antenna.
Right, providing nothing really happens. Same thing with radio, providing something happens. So,
So anyway, just be prepared for anything that we discussed may happen. We're not saying it will. But just keep all the thoughts in your mind.
Just keep watching. Just keep watching the waves on the water and in all areas, because if something's starting to happen, you're going to see a backflow of things, and you're going to see a big wave come in of whatever that area is going to be, and and it may not be pretty. It could come in and everything could be fine and wash away everything and everybody prosperous, or it could turn people into problems with each other
Yes,
and how things are ran and who or what. And, you'll be afraid to go out your own door to go to get your damn mail.
Thank you. It reminds me I have to get more shoelaces.
Yes, more shoelaces. So, all right.
Thank you very much for listening, people, and God bless. I'm sorry, but that's just my thoughts. I'm not pushing God onto anybody. Anyway, but have a great, wonderful afternoon, everybody. And take care. Be safe.
Oh, yeah. Just remember.
Love yourselves. Love your family.
That's right. Just remember, we're all in this together, regardless of how you want to look at it.
Like our famous person that we know, you can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose.
Exactly.
Remember that.
But you might be able to pick your family.
Yes, you can pick your family's nose, but not your friend's nose. Just a word of wisdom. Yes, it was a great man that said that.